All right, let's get into it. Tamra, you messy, sis. You messy. How in the hell is Vicky getting thrown under the bus about releasing this rumor or whatever about Kelly getting a train run on her? That was Tamra. That was Tamra. Vicky said her line that she always said. I know a lot about so-and-so that she's not saying. Guys, she says it every season to every person in the cast. Why? Because this is what Vicky do. Vicky gets tea on everybody before the season starts. That's why she always got a rumor. That's why she always got a secret. That's why she always has something, because she does the proper housewife research. She started this thing. She probably has a team that goes out and gets information about everybody on that season. And that's why she always has a little something to pull out of her hat. Watch the girl. Don't take her checks. Study her so you can get her checks. But Tamra is the one that said it, because Vicky said that, but I'm just like, Vicky always says that. So Tamra, you didn't need to be like, oh, is that the rumor about the train? First of all, y'all use train? I was just like, who in the hell is... Because that's such a street terminology, and I just would not expect white women, white middle-aged women from Orange County to be using the word train. Like, that's what we say in the hood. She got a train run on her. Or, you know, when you see a group of guys that you like, you go, choo-choo. I was actually with a friend of mine at Pride, and he did that. These guys walked by, and he was like, choo-choo. Oh, we got to link up. I miss him. But anyway, I just would not expect them to use that language. But Tamra started this whole mess, and this is the thing that pissed me off about this episode. I'm like, everybody is running with this, that Vicky said it. Even Bronwyn, who we will get into her later, sis, your days are numbered on this show. When she comes on my screen, I'm like, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm still so excited about the Beverly Hills, news that was released. So I'm probably mad extra in this review. But anyway, Tamra was the one who said it at the table. Nobody tried to back it up. They even, Shannon, Tamra, and Bronwyn, y'all messy. Y'all are messy. You know what? I won't say Bronwyn. I will say, no, Gina was in there too. Tamra, Gina, and who was the other one I just said? Shannon, y'all wrong. Bronwyn probably is new to this game and really didn't know, but you guys were in that van after that dinner. You knew you were mic'd. You knew exactly what you were doing. Oh, this conversation is not going to leave the van. Oh, this conversation is not going to leave this car, because this is what happened. 8 guys ran a train on her, and oh my goodness, can you believe it? Y'all were dragging Kelly in this van, and then you're going to say this will never leave the van. We're never going to talk about this. You knew you were mic'd. You knew you were mic'd. You've been on this show long enough, ladies, to know. I'm only going to exclude Bronwyn from there, because if you weren't mic'd, body mics, they put cameras and mics in these cars. You knew. Y'all knew this was going to make air. You guys all conspired, probably all of y'all and Vicky conspired to get this on the show. Because how does Vicky say her line that she always says, Tamra volunteers this information about the train, then y'all all get in the car, talk about the whole thing that happened, and say, oh, we're not going to talk about this ever, but you know good and well you're talking about it on the show. Y'all messy. This should not, you know what? Yes, Vicky should be a part of this. She should not be the target. They are all co-conspirators. Vicky, Tamra, and Shannon. They're responsible for this, Kelly. Drag them all. We will get into Kelly and that big emoji. You need to be dragging all of them, Kelly, together, because they did this together. It was not, no, the way it came out, guys, I was like, this is storyline. Y'all being messy. But the problem is you can't be messy with Kelly. You cannot, because they never know how Kelly is going to react. You done made her the face of this rumor after she's been fighting down coke rumors. You done made her the face of this rumor, and it's like, how you think that's going to go? Especially, and you know what? This is really sad, because it happens. There are a lot of kids on this of Housewives, or, their reality TV star children or whatever, or the children of reality TV stars, a lot of them do not like to be in the social eye. Like, they don't like to be on social media or anything like that. They try to change their name because these crazed fans find them and harass them, like what happened to Kelly's daughter. Like, the kids aren't on the show. Leave them alone. Like, the parents are acting a fool for a check. Okay, come after the parents. Why are y'all coming after these people's kids? These people's freaking 10-year-old children. Like, what are you doing? So you know that hurt Kelly. So why would you start with this train rumor, knowing good and well that she's still healing from that, and somebody else is going to tell her daughter about that? Her daughter is probably going to find out what a train is now, since everybody's saying that a train was run on her mother. Like, guys, y'all keep on picking on this girl, and I'm like, Kelly, I feel sorry for Kelly. I really want her to have an ally on the show, and she never does. She never has an ally on the show. I also think it's partly because of Kelly's mouth. Kelly, you cuss people out so viciously that nobody wants to move forward with you. Even if the cuss out is warranted, sis, you go so deep. It's just like, to the point where not only do people not want to cross you, they don't want to be friends with you because you cut so deep, mother. You got to learn when to use the knife or when to use a spork. You don't got to cut so deep. You know what I mean? Just a little jab. And a little jab that don't break the skin. You pull out a machete and you dice them holes up every damn time. Sis, you need balance. Balance. You know what also confirms this for me, that this is something that all three of those ladies cooked up? They're all talking about it in the confessional. Every confessional that Tamra, Shannon, or Vicky has, it's always about this train rumor, and they're giving more details. They're giving more details, and I'm just like, this is what y'all concocted this whole rumor up about Kelly. Wow. And also, it's such a the rumor is so big and bloated that, like, it just doesn't land in a believable place for anybody. Like, you hear the rumor and you're just like, a train run on her by like 8 guys. Like, you know what? It's possible. It's possible, especially in them, like, suburban neighborhoods. Child, listen, I dated some dude from about to tell my business. I dated some dude from the suburbs thinking that it was going to be like a different speed because, the boys in the hood was moving a little too fast. Child, this suburban Caucasian was a whole freak, and we were kids. I was like, oh, I'm good. The stuff you trying to do, I ain't even heard of this. I thought we was going to make out and hold hands. You trying to do what? I just met you. No. So it is very possible. It is very possible, but I don't believe this rumor. And you know what? If it is true, Kelly has grown. She can get a train, a plane, a submarine, a school bus, whatever ran on her that she wants. She's a grown woman. If Kelly and the 8 men are consenting, who cares? Who cares? Then we start to get into shaming a woman for being sexually active. You know what I mean? Then it crosses that line into that. This was just low. It was trashy, and that's why she got all of y'all together at that table. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's talk about Bronwyn. Listen, for several seasons now, specifically on the Real Housewives of Orange County, they have continued to hire women to be, or to like newbies on this show to be introduced to the audience who have extremely interesting mothers. The kids, the daughters are so bland, but the mothers, every time they come in, they spice up the scene and then they go away. And I'm just like, this is a problem, OC. I don't know what's going on with this casting over there. Is the casting department the same, or do they have different casting departments for each sect of the franchise? I don't know what's going on there, but OC needs some help. Because here we have Bronwyn, right? And the only thing, in my opinion, the 3 things that is interesting about her is that she's extremely fertile, her husband dresses like a cult leader, and her mother is Betsy Johnson's tether. That is it. But it's not Bronwyn. And she has a son that has an afro. Have you seen that boy's hair? I love it. But that's it. I'm like, there's nothing interesting about Bronwyn for me. And I get it's very early, but I feel like when you are a newbie, you got to come in guns blazing, because we will, like what has happened to me with Bronwyn, forget about you. No shade, sis. No shade, but it's like, several scenes in this episode, I was like, oh, Bronwyn was there. You're stepping out to call your husband. Cute. I don't want that on my reality TV show. I need some chicks who gonna be on here knucking and bucking, crying. I need some Ramona Singers. You know what I mean? I need some Bethany Frankels. I need some Nene Leakes. If you're not giving me that, then what are you here for? You're just showing us that you have a really good life. Great. If you have a really good life, you don't do reality TV. Like, there's nothing interesting about her within this cast. She may work on like a Christian network. You know what I mean? She can be a host of a Mommy and Me, you know, show on YouTube. Like, that's maybe what she needs to do, because sorry, Bronwyn, I don't see it. I don't see it. Every time I see her mother, I'm just like, I want to know about this lady. Because how did you end up here? And guys, they know that the mother is more interesting than Bronwyn, because every time we get a confessional about Bronwyn, we see her mother as this dope rock star back in the day. But that's not Bronwyn. That's her mother. And she talks about, oh, you know, there was Coke or whatever on the tables when I was 4 years old. But then you grew up to be this. Great. Great. I'm happy that she turned out so normal. But this is a TV show. You got to keep us interested. And every time we see her mother just walk into the scene with those neon box braids at 70 damn 2, I want to know about her. What do you guys think about Bronwyn? Do you think that she's like a good addition? Because I've seen a couple of people tweeting about her on Twitter, and I've checked their pages and they've been bots. So she got her little PR team working to get her name out there. Smart, sis. But you got to make sure, like, you know, the people that are tweeting about you have followers. You know, y'all got to do that a little different, because everybody tweeting about you got 3 followers. Bots. And so I don't know. I don't see it for her. But again, it's still early. What do you guys think about Bronwyn? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Gina, I'm glad she's free. I am glad she's finally free, because now she's finally telling us what we, the viewers and the cast, already knew. Like, we all knew that her husband was cheating on her, because there's no way that you're a grown man with a wife and kids. You're living in LA, which is a 45-minute drive away from your family that's in the Orange County. Do they call it the Orange County? Or Orange County? Orange County, that's what it is. Your family's in Orange County and you stop by on the weekends to see them. I'm like, oh no, he in LA living with his mistress. He just come and see you and sex you down so that you stop thinking about the fact that he's obviously cheating. He wants to make sure that he just pump you full enough of his semen that you're thinking about him and desiring him, and not thinking about the fact that he's in LA living with another woman. Like, we all knew, but we wanted to respect you, sis. But I'm glad that she's free. I'm glad that she's finally telling her truth. And now I feel like we can start to see who she really is when she's not lying to protect her cheating husband. I'm like, sis, you don't have to protect him. He broke your heart. He brought you out here and decided to live another life with some woman, probably some young actress. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something about out here, guys. There are a lot of relationships that have been started in LA because people need a place to stay, okay? This place is expensive. You may think that you wouldn't, you know, start hoeing to pay your rent, but then you get out to Los Angeles and you're just like, you know what? If this old man asks me out one more time, because let me tell you something, I'm not judging nobody, right? Because I have my own little experience. I ain't hoe, but I thought about it. There was this older guy, and I used to live in Sherman Oaks. This older guy, like, he lived in the hills. I lived like right off of Ventura Boulevard. And I used to always go, like, I used to do my walks in the area and always like go for a run in that area. And he was always trying to talk to me. He will always ride up to me in his Bentley or whatever and try to talk to me. And at first I thought it was like really cute. I was like, this old guy has a crush. But then he started like asking me out, like wanting to take me to these places. And I always said no. And then I got laid off from my job. And I thank God, because when I got laid off from my job, I was looking for homeboy. I was like, where is this old man? Where is that blue Bentley? Thank you, Jesus. So it's very understandable. It's very understandable. And so that dude is probably laid up with this chick who is probably with him because she needs the financial support, but probably don't really want him. And you're over here cheating on your wife that has loved you since you were a teenager. Trash. You don't got to protect that dude. Trash. But yeah, I'm glad that Gina is finally free. I think in this season, we're going to see her start to reveal a little bit more and allow us to get to know a little bit more about her. I also think that she's struggling with doing life on her own. I think she is somebody who's never had to do that. Because even in the scene in the last episode where she was with her parents and she was, you know, just talking to them, she went to such a like childlike space because I think she's a daddy's girl. I think her parents have pampered her for the majority of her life. And then she goes to high school and she meets her high school sweetheart and they date and then they get married very young and he starts taking care of her. So she goes from one place where she's being pampered and taken care of, never really having to work, never really having to allow her feet to hit the ground. And then she has a guy who does the same thing. So all of these things, these small things to us are huge to her. Like she doesn't know the days when to take out the trash. She's losing keys. She's losing all of this stuff because she's never had that responsibility. The only responsibility she's had was her children. That's what she know how to do. And don't none of y'all comment and say she don't know how to do that well. I know y'all so well. I heard the shade before you typed it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But that's all she knows how to do. So now she's doing this single woman thing. Like, guys, she's never been single. Gina has never been single. And this is her first time being single at 35 years old with what, 3 kids? So this is going to be very interesting to watch because this woman is in a whole new world. Listen, let's talk about this pig emoji, me emoji or whatever that Kelly sent Vicky. Vicky, sis, we would have never known about it if you didn't bring it to the show. Why would you show that? Somebody making fun of your looks, I get it. Especially when you are on that kind of platform. Because, guys, the fandom could be very great. It could also be extremely terrible. I remember recently when I was looking through, I always look through Twitter to see if like people are talking about the same things that I want to talk about, because what I don't want to do is continue to go over stuff that's already been discussed. So I just want to see if like, did everybody catch that or am I crazy, right? So I always like to see that and just laugh and just have a good time and kiki with everybody. And you can also find like a really great, like, you know, housewife community out there, right? Like fans of this show. But then when I'm also scouring Twitter, I also see some really vile things. And I'm just like, how could you write that? There are people writing about hoping Kelly gets her daughter taken away. They're writing about how Vicky looks. They are calling these girls bees and just all kind of offensive and vulgar names. And I'm like, you're an adult. You would really write that about somebody on a reality TV show? TV. Entertainment. Why are you so invested like that? It's sick. It really, really is sick. And then even though I don't agree with Tamra, people keep on calling her Tam Rat. And I'm just like, guys, let's be very conscious of our words because like, of course there are people who are like joking and having a good time, but there are really people out there who are extremely vile. Like it's unnecessary. So I get it. Like I get that Vicky being tormented about how she looks, it takes a toll on her. I know that there are people out there who are probably tormenting her about that on a daily basis on all her social medias. And she has to go on social media, like that's her job. So I get it, right? But again, beloved, we would have never known about this if you would not have volunteered this information. And listen, I gotta be real. When Vicky was showing that to the girls and she was clearly hurt, I was hollering. I feel bad. I was in tears because, guys, it's ridiculous. These are 2 grown women. Kelly really took the time to find that memoji and record that. And guys, you know, if you've ever done that, you know that you have to be in perfect light. So just imagine if she wasn't like in perfect lighting and the, you know, thing kept on pausing and stopping. Kelly probably had to re-record that several times to get just that right moment. And I was just thinking about this grown woman recording this video of a pig, adding her voice to it and sending it to another adult woman and being dead serious. So that is what was taking me out. Not the fact that Kelly was making fun of the way Vicky looks and really harming her in a way that she knew would cut her, right? Because here's the thing, Kelly, I love you, but you lying, sis. You lying, because Kelly is going to say, well, I didn't know that that's what people said about her. How do you not know that? Vicky tells everybody. She tells strangers. How do you not know about that? And then she said, that was just the first one that I saw, so I used it. Sis, you lying. The first meme-moji, I got an iPhone. I got the latest one, okay? Which is why I'm starting to have problems with it, because them fools is releasing another phone in September. So here go my brand new iPhone 10X Plus or whatever. It's starting to glitch up on the system. Apple, you lucky I'm devoted. You lucky. So anyway, I have an iPhone, right? When you go up to look, if you have the latest one and you go up to look up the meme-mojis, the first one is that adorable little monkey. Guys, you gotta search to find the pig. The pig, I don't even think the pig is like the third one. I think it's the monkey, the unicorn, and then the donkey, and then maybe the pig. Like, you got to search to find that animal. Kelly, you searched. You recorded that thing several times and you sent that to Vicky to hurt her, sis. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Sis, there's nothing wrong with your body. You are a curvy woman. That's just what it is. You got big titties and a big butt and you got hips, mama. Unfortunately, you're in the OC where that body won't kill. You know what I mean? They'll shame it. Your body will kill in New York City, okay? It really, really would. The problem I think Emily is having is that sis, you need a man of a different culture. Like, can we be real? You need a man that will appreciate all that body. You need like a Latin man, a black man. If you want to stay within the Caucasus Mountains, then get yourself an Armenian man or an East Coast Italian girl. Love it. Will be all over that body. That's what you need. You're wasting too much time trying to please Rumpelstiltskin, and you will never please that man. He is so miserable. I think, I gotta be honest, it's my channel. I think, she was getting up there and she wanted to, get married and have children. Women do this all the time. I know so many friends who are just like, I'm getting older. Oh gosh, are y'all watching? Sorry, I love y'all. I'm older and I just want to get married. And they get married and they have kids and they realize they don't really like this guy. And being a mom was probably not for them, you know what I mean? But society puts that on us, I hope as we continue to grow and mature as a nation and as women start to really take the forefront and take control over their lives and not what society wants for us, that we do what we want to do, that we start to take that shame away from women who are not married and who don't have children. Because not everybody wants that. You know what I mean? I go back and forth. And I will have beautiful children. But then I hang out with my girlfriend who has kids and I'm like, oh, you can't give them back. You know what I mean? Who knows? I might meet a great guy and just be like, I want to have your babies. Who knows? But it's just like, I just think that this woman is in this situation because there are two things that the world told her or society told her that she needed, and she went after it and she got it, and now she's in this really miserable situation. And I have to be real with you guys again. I think we are in the beginning stages of a divorce storyline from Emily, because all of this stuff is coming out about how terrible Shane is. Because Bravo just released a clip of him talking about how he basically enjoys his time away from his wife and his kids. There was something where they were asking him if he missed Emily, and he was just like, here's where I gotta like fake like I do. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's just like, no, when I'm away, I don't miss my family. Like, he's just not a good guy. He's not a good guy. And Emily, you just, listen, sis, you can do far better than Rumpelstiltskin. And I promise you, when you leave that dude, if that's what you want, you're going to drop that weight because he's stressing you out. He is stressing you out. Bet you when you move on from Rumpelstiltskin, you're going to drop a good 30 pounds, sis. You still going to have that butt in them titties, though. That's just how you built. Embrace it. Embrace it. If I had them hips, do you know how many bodycon dresses I would be? I would be wearing a bodycon dress to Target, girl. Target, church. Can I do? No, I'm not going to do that. Forgive me, Lord. Movies, the gas station. I will be showing them hips off. You got a good body. You just got a stressful husband. Drop the weight, sis. Drop the weight. You picking up what I'm putting down? I am glad that Emily is moving forward with the dance routine because I do think that that's something that's going to help her confidence. I don't know how Shane is going to take it, and I think that she's probably doing that because she knows and the producers know that he's not going to have the best reaction to that, and that's probably going to further this storyline of this relationship is falling apart. But good for you, girl. Do what you got to do to get your confidence up until you feel like you're at the place where you no longer need to do stuff like this. Or keep it up, girl. Who knows? We might get a whole season from Emily after she moves on from Rumpelstiltskin. Who knows? Who knows? Let's talk about this podcast. That Jeff dude, what is it? I was going to say Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Ross? Whatever. That guy on that Flippin' Houses show that abuses his assistant. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, I can't get into the show. This is abuse. He just, poor Jenny. Anyway, she went on, Shannon went on his podcast, and I guess somebody said there was a rumor that that Emily and Gina should go. And I feel like Emily, because of her situation, took what was rumored and just blew it all out of proportion. Because come to find out, Shannon didn't even say that. And Emily just went bananas and went on Twitter and just started trashing this woman, right? She doesn't say anything to her when she realizes that she was wrong. Like, she didn't apologize to her when she meets up with her on this trip that the girls are giving to Gina because now she's a single woman and they're taking her to Rodeo Drive because she's never been there. Emily shows up on this trip and is talking to Shannon like nothing went down. Like, you didn't say those vile things about her on Twitter. Shannon, taking it like a champ, very proud of her, is still talking to her, but in her confessional, she's like, are you going to say sorry? Because you're wrong. You were wrong. And Emily still doesn't say anything until they sit down to dinner, and she's trying to like talk to Shannon, and Shannon is just like, I'm expecting an apology. Like, Shannon had to lead out with it because Emily still wasn't saying anything. And Emily tries this thing, oh, well, I was apologizing to you. No, you weren't. We all watched it. You never said sorry. You never said that you were trying to talk about and fix the situation. You just keep on trying to talk over it like it didn't happen. So finally, she gives her an apology, but it's so like, it's an apology she should have kept. It's an apology she should have kept because it was one of those apologies where it's like, I'm wrong, but I don't really want to admit that I'm wrong. So I'm going to give this apology to you because it's the right thing to do, but I don't really mean it. It was just so, it was layered with foolishness, and Shannon didn't have to accept it, but she did. I will say this though, where I felt like Shannon was wrong in this, to drag Emily for crying or just having a breakdown over her marriage, essentially falling apart, and, you know, tell her to toughen up or whatever. It's just like, Shannon, when we met you, you were crying and falling apart. You just got your life together. It's been 3 full seasons of you falling apart every episode. Let this girl have a little breakdown. Just realize that she has wasted her life on a scamming Rumpelstiltskin because, baby, he done did all of this studying for this bar exam to take this test to become a lawyer. He still ain't made it. And I'm not doubting that that is a hard test. But dude, what you really doing? Are you pulling a Matt? If that dude is cheating on her, Emily, you have every right to pick him up and chuck him across the ocean. If that man is cheating on this woman, oh, and you know how I found out that he didn't pass the bar exam? Because one of you messy people on Twitter went on the website, searched his name, and was just like, what has he been doing this whole time? Twitter is so messy. It could be a good place. It can also be a dark place. That's why you really have to work out your feed. Like, I have muted so many people. I've blocked, I've muted. I really have cultivated my Twitter to where I get enlightened and I have a laugh. You really have to do that on that site or you will just be messed up. This restaurant, Ivy on Sunset, as soon as I saw that, I went to my Yelp list. I already had it in my Yelp list, but I was just like, I need to push this up on the list because I have to go. It looked beautiful. By the way, they weren't in Beverly Hills when they were there. Like, that's the thing. They say, you know, OC, Beverly Hills, New York, they're really not in those. The only people who are really in the area that they brag about is New York. They're the only ones like living in like the upper crust of New York. These housewives of Beverly Hills and the Real Housewives of OC, they live certain places, film another place. I remember Kyle used to live in Encino and kept on repping Beverly Hills. And I was like, Kyle, I'll walk by your house every freaking day to go to Starbucks, sis. You are not living in Beverly Hills, but you know, you gotta keep up with the lie. Anyway, after Emily gives Shannon her non-apology, then Emily act like everything is cool now. She starts some mess about Kelly. She's like, oh, now this is done. So what is it about this rumor about Kelly? Sis, why would you even bring that up? Being messy. Just being messy. Kelly was rightfully offended because here goes Emily. I was bringing it up because I was defending you. I was mad at Vicky. Shut up. You didn't need to bring that up. You didn't need to say anything about it. And Kelly was right for getting that whole table together because her thing is, why are you guys even talking about this? You know how much it hurts me. You know how much it's going to taint my name. Already dealing with the coke stuff with my freaking child. Her daughter calls. They start talking about a train. She cusses all them out. And then she gets up and she walks away and she talks to her child because she's going through all of these emotions. And the ladies know it because they've talked about it. They've talked about it on this show. They've talked about it in their interviews. They talked about it on their freaking blogs about how that rumor that Vicky said on the last reunion really affected her. So why would you guys now bring up a train? Now she's smoking, she's snorting coke in the bathroom. She's getting trains run on her by 8 random men. Guys, this was wrong. Everybody at that table was wrong. Bronwyn, who I didn't even know was there. The only reason why I knew that she was there was because she got up and said she had to make a call. I was like, who is this? Oh, Bronwyn. I thought it was a freaking waiter. Like, girl. You got to get messy, sis, or you have to have something dramatic. Or if not, switch places with your mama. Because, sis, I forgot about you. That's not a good thing on these kind of shows. Kelly gets up and she goes to talk to her daughter, Tamra, who started this whole thing and is not getting any heat. Her or Shannon. She goes over to try to talk to her about it. And when she's talking to her, she's scolding her. She's like getting her together. Like, you can't talk to us like that. She's like, yes, I can. And I did. What you guys did to me is wrong. They never like to, listen, Kelly, I've always talked about this. She goes too far. But they always pick and poke at this girl, and when she reacts, they get scared. Why did you mess with her in the first place? And then Gina tries to start talking about her. Oh my gosh. Gina, I felt like Gina was helping. I felt like she was trying to talk to her friend, but Kelly just wasn't in that place to receive it because she cussed Gina out so bad. Poor Gina. It's like, well, this was my day. And Kelly was like, I don't care. It still is. Oh God, Kelly. When Kelly was cussing Gina out, I literally said to the TV, stop shooting, Kelly. The girl is dead. She's dead. Get off her. She would not let Gina up. And I guarantee you when we come back, we're probably going to get Gina crying. Like the next episode, we'll get Gina crying at this restaurant because Kelly went in on her so hard when she should have went in on Emily. Emily brought it up in this scene. But I think with Kelly, when she gets upset, she like blacks out and she goes after everybody. You got to back away and let her calm down. And then you could talk to her. But she cussed that whole table out. She said, I'm talking to you, and you. I love her on this show. This show needs it. Her and Vicky are, in my opinion, are the only ones who bring it. Because yes, guys, Vicky was demoted, right? We'll talk about why she was demoted later. A speculation that I have. But although she was demoted, she's in every freaking scene. Because she Because this is the thing, she's an OG. She knows how to get it started. She comes in, she drops something, and she's out. Now, if she was a main cast member, she would have been at that table. She would have been stirring stuff up, but she's still playing her position, accepting a lesser check. So she's not going to do the most, but she's going to do just enough to get another season. Here's why I think that Vicky was demoted. There was a rumor going out in these production streets that Bravo has not been making a lot of money from these shows like they used to, from the Housewives shows. Like, they're not bringing in the money. They're not bringing in the, well, essentially they're not bringing in the numbers that they used to bring in. So this is how TV shows get made or stay on the air. Commercials are advertisers buying time in between these shows to run their ads. You can charge an advertiser a certain amount of money based off the views that you would get. So let's say Nabisco pays Bravo $5 million to run, 150 5-minute ads in between their housewife shows, right? They can charge them that because they're getting 4 or 5 million views each episode. When the views drop, so does the number that you charge. So if the views are dropping, I'm Nabisco. I paid 5 million before because 5 million people were going to see my ad. Now 2.5, 3 million people are seeing it. Now we got to renegotiate, right? So Bravo can't afford, or probably don't want to pay, these big salaries if the shows aren't bringing in the viewers like they used to. So a lot of these housewives, especially Lisa Vanderpump, which is why I think they got rid of her, which is why I think Bravo was just like, you know what? We can't afford this chick anymore. Let's give this storyline that will make her not want to come back, because they ended that woman on that show. Guys, the way they were coming at her when she was mourning the loss of her brother, it was not cool. It was not cool, and I felt like they were forcing her off that show, and I think they were forcing her off that show because her rate was too big. So a lot of these ladies are getting demoted. The OG, because they can ask for that. They've been on these shows for 10 years, so you're not paying me $500K when that's what I was getting my 3rd season. This is my 10th season. You're gonna give me at least 2 to 3 million an episode. So a lot of the OGs are getting that, right? But with the shows not bringing in the numbers that they used to, the rates don't justify the show anymore. So it's like, you want me to give you now $2.5 million for this season when we lost 1 million viewers last season. Word on the street is they wanted to demote Bethany as well because they couldn't afford to pay her rate. So Bethany just decided to quit the show. I think what she's doing is quitting the show and coming back when the show is in a place where it's bountiful again and the numbers and the views are up and they can afford to pay her. That's what I think she's doing. I think Bethany love her, but I think she got a lot of pride. And I think instead of coming back as a friend of the show and eating that, she's just gonna come back when the show is doing well again and they can afford to pay her worth, because she's worth it. I hope that happens, sis. I hope these new cast shakeups really bring interest or spark interest back with these shows. I don't know if it's going to happen. Vicky is always about her check. She took the demotion. She was okay with that, because in Vicky's mind, I'd rather take 1 million than no million at all. So she probably got like 1 million plus when she was probably getting like 3 or so for the season. As a businesswoman, she's not walking away from a check. So that is the word on these production streets, allegedly. This is why there's such a shakeup. Beverly Hills has to be pricey because it's a very pricey zip code. So they're going to give these ladies the numbers, but I think that Lisa's rate was just too much for that show to handle, especially when the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is just not doing well. You can look up their views. You can look up the views from when they first started to where they were last season. It wasn't good. It was, all of them underperformed. All of them. Nobody was just like breaking numbers like they used to. They all underperform. So that's the word on the street. Vicky's still doing her job because she knows that the show probably might not do that well without her whooping it up all the damn time. So she's probably going to come back with that as a way to negotiate her rate. Probably what she was getting before, or maybe just a little bit more as a main cast member. I think that's what's going to happen. I think she also wants to let them know that this ain't no show without me. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Well, that's where the episode ends. The episode ends at this restaurant with Kelly getting all the ladies together. Next week is going to be some more rumor drama. I hope it's not going to be a snooze fest. We will see. As you guys know, if the show keeps me interested, if it stays entertaining, I will continue to review it. If not, y'all know mother will check out. If I'm not enjoying it, they're not getting my blood, sweat, and tears. But I've enjoyed what I have seen so far. If you have enjoyed what you have seen thus far, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you hopefully next week for the following episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Love you guys. Bye.